Bryant coming off a triple-double as the Lakers 33-8, both of these teams completing the first half of their season. This is Dick Stockton along with Reggie Miller and the czar, Mike Fratello. And we are set to go. The officials, Dan Crawford, Leroy Richardson, Violet Palmer, as the Lakers control the ball first.
Speaking with head coach Ed Tapscott, Dominic McGuire is going to get the task of going after Kobe Bryant early here. He's their defensive guru. He wants to try to see if he can kind of muscle Kobe a little bit down low.
And Kobe misses the first shot. Keep in mind that Kobe Bryant playing with a dislocated ring finger in his shooting hand. Despite that, a triple-double last night, but he did get hit on it once at Phil Jackson. McGuire right now at the point, and with 3 on the shot clock, misses the jumper, and Derek Fisher taps it into the hands of Bynum. So Kobe controls. Bryant in the lane, fouled.
We just had Washington against Cleveland a couple weeks back, and McGuire had the assignment that particular night of trying to guard LeBron James. I actually thought he did a pretty good job. He's 6'9", he has length, he's very smart on the basketball floor. Right there, goes up, gets a little bit too much arm as he challenges the jump shot.
Kobe Bryant, who had his second triple-double in the last 3 games, and that's the first that he's had that since 2005. Coming into the game, the 3rd leading scorer in the NBA at nearly 27 points a game.
And the thing about Kobe at the other end of the floor, he's going to be guarding McGuire, and that's somewhat going to be of a soft assignment for him. So look for Kobe Bryant to help a lot on the defensive end. Usually he would guard Caron Butler, but you don't want to get in cross-passage.
For first time down, we saw the Wizards use McGuire as a ball distributor rather than Mike James. He's not a pure point guard. He's more of a scoring guard, so they let McGuire be the distributor. James came off screens early on.
McGuire with 9 on the clock going down to Andre Blatch, whose turnaround misses, and Bynum the rebound. Bynum collected 15 boards along with the 42 points last night. And here is Kobe Bryant pulling up over McGuire and is kept alive by Pau Gasol. Walton, who started last night after being out for 9, and the ball tipped away, and here come the Wizards. Jamison for 3. And Gasol gets the rebound. A minute and a half gone by. First quarter, 2-0 Lakers.
Ed Tapscott, the coach of the Wizards, mentioned to us that they had a game plan recently of going inside early to start the game to see Luke Walton teeing up and hit the perimeter shot. The game plan was go inside early. They wound up taking 14 straight perimeter shots to start the game, so not quite what he intended thus far. They still have not gone down inside low.
Wizards beat Sacramento by 3 after being up by 21 in the 3rd quarter. Only their 3rd road win of the year. And the 3-point attempt is missed by Mike James. Here's Blatch, plenty of time on the clock. Off-balance shot, and now the Wizards missing their first 5 from the field.
Well, not only are they missed their first 5, but they're all jump shots.
There's a 3 for Derek Fisher, who comes in 10th in the league in 3-point field goal percentage, and it's an early 7-0 Laker advantage.
Outside shots, long rebounds, equal opportunity at the other end.
McGuire guarded here by Walton. Setting a screen is Jamison. He'll put up another 3 and hits, and finally the Wizards are on the board with nearly 3 minutes gone by.
Well, the good news is at least they haven't been discouraged from taking their perimeter shots early on in the game here.
Wizards coming in, by the way, next to last in the NBA in 3-point field goal percentage. Here's Gasol, picked up by Jamison, and the foul against Jamison before the shot.
Well, and we talked about the Wizards. They weren't going to be discouraged from knocking down outside shots. You see the little pick and pop right here by Jamison. Gasol just a little bit late at recovering back. But let's see if Phil Jackson is going to try to use Gasol as well as Bynum down low. Lakers #1 in points in the paint as well as second chance point. They've got the size against the Wizards.
And Pau Gasol with the turnaround had a big size advantage now, and the Lakers leading by 6.
I think we see one of the reasons why Washington is 28th in the league in free throw attempts per game, right near the bottom of the league. They take just over 22 free throw attempts a night because they shoot all jump shots.
Jamison gets inside to get the basket, so Antoine Jamison with all 5 Wizards points.
Well, Coach, you got to understand, Brendan Haywood's been out all year with the wrist injury. He's really their only really low post threat. Jamison can post up as Bynum. As we're talking about, the Lakers are going to dominate the paint area. Who else is really going to post up other than Jamison and Brendan Haywood, who's out for the rest of the year?
How do you expect this team to be doing a lot better when you have a Gilbert Arenas and Brendan Haywood, and that is maybe more of a serious Deshaun Stevenson missing his 12th game tonight? It's no wonder that they are way out of it right now. Here's Caron Butler with a 3. So Jamison and Butler each hitting early 3s, and the Wizards now down by 3.
They're going back to what you just mentioned. Their leading offensive player, Gilbert Arenas, is out. Their leading defender, meaning the guy who anchors their defense from behind, Haywood, is out. So your 2 key components and 3 starters now all are missing from their starting lineup.
Walton inside from Gasol and misses the basket, but the foul is called. That's Ed Tapscott, who took over after Eddie Jordan was fired when the Wizards started 1-10. And here are the injuries. Aton Thomas out for the season with a knee injury. They will have, though, Deshaun Stevenson back in about a week.
Well, you got your backup. You got your backup center injured as well. And we were speaking with Ed Tapscott before the game. They've got a bunch of young guys. You got JaVale McGee. You've got Nick Young. You got Dominic McGuire, who's got the task of guarding Kobe Bryant. So he understands that he has a young team, and it takes a while for a young team to mature.
Yeah, we mentioned to him the first time these 2 teams played in a 2-point game. Actually, Washington had a chance at the end. They shot a 3 at the end to win the game, missed that shot. But he said, I've lost 3 guys from the group that played that night that were veteran guys and now replaced them, as you said, Reggie, with young people.
Blatch getting it inside to James, and the pass was thrown under the backboard, hit the bottom of it, and so the Lakers get it back. 5 minutes gone by. Here is Kobe Bryant. Short pass to Gasol, and good play by Blatch as he knocks it away from the cutting Walton. 13 on the shot clock. Lakers at 33-8, and that is tied for the second best record after 41 games in club history. They have won 2 in a row and 12 of their last 15. Kobe driving to the basket with a reverse lay-in.
It really didn't look like that dislocated ring finger affected him on that drive.
No, there was no help either from the next defender over for the Wizards. A clear path to the basket that time for Kobe.
By the way, a very painful injury, and Cheryl Miller, who's with us, will have more on the Kobe Bryant injury as Jamison drives in. He has 7 of the Wizards' 10. Gasol defended by Jamison, knocked away. Lakers are back defensively, nearly halfway through this opening quarter. And here is Caron Butler missing the 3. And that would have brought the Wizards to within 1. In the corner is Walton. Goes low to Gasol. And the fight for the loose ball. And James does a good job inside. Bynum is fouled, but James got his hand in to prevent the easy lay-in.
Well, Kobe has driven it to the middle and dished off, but this time the path was so clear, he was determined to get to the rim. He gets there and finishes easily.
Some game, the Lakers are mounting a furious comeback.
Here we go, 4th quarter. Just watching the clock. You need a score. He's done it all tonight. Oh, what a move.
Oh, the crowd is chanting, Kobe, Kobe, Kobe.
He shakes free. He pulls up with the man in his face. Off balance.
Oh, what a shot by Kobe Bryant. 43 points on the night.
See it, get it, experience it. The game happens here. The NBA on TNT, brought to you by Lincoln and the technologically breathtaking 2009 Lincoln MKS. Lincoln, reach higher. By Push, the movie that pushes action to a new level, in theaters February 6th. By American Airlines, we know why you fly. We're American Airlines. And by Jim Beam Bourbon.
What
Welcome back to Los Angeles, where it's the Lakers leading by 4. Hello, everyone. I am Cheryl Miller. We're at the Lakers shoot-around this afternoon. I was able to catch up with Gary Vitti, the team's athletic trainer, and he said in his 25 years, Kobe's injury has to be one of the worst dislocations he's seen in a long time. He said, matter of fact, an injury like that normally requires to heal 6 weeks, and obviously that is not a luxury that the Lakers or Kobe has. Now, I was told that his treatments consist of electric stim, and a kind of unusual one is a level laser, which is actually a laser beam that promotes healing. And the one that kind of caught me off guard, and we can bring in David, my assistant, who's going to hold the mic here, requires a shoelace. And what Kobe has to do a couple times a day is wrap this tightly, we can really quickly, around the finger all the way down. There we go. And as you can see, then he has to massage the finger, hopefully reducing any swelling in that joint. Now, before the game, I spoke to Kobe. He said his finger is a little bit sore. And I said, well, how did you manage a triple-double with just 3 fingers? He said, you just got to do what you just got to do, guys. Now, Dick, did I tell you? I gave you more.
Oh, you sure did. It looked like a magic trick for a minute there, Cheryl. And I thought you were kind of a new sideline.
Siegfried and Roy, where's the big cats at?
Right.
My goodness,
you know,
got a trusty assistant and everything.
String, I didn't know what was going to
really splurging now.
Antoine Jameson hitting his second 3 of the game. So the Wizards have taken 11 shots, 6 from 3-point range. Fortunately for them, they've hit 3 of them.
You know, I've had one of those dislocated fingers before, and it is one of the most painful things. It is not so much on the shooting, but it's the ball handling.
And the hand checking perhaps too. Bynum going inside. Pretty play by Bynum. He had the 42 last night. His previous career high was 28.
Blotch has to realize that he's got to stay between Bynum and the basket. Going up for the ball fake just took him out of position. It gave Bynum a clear path to the rim.
Bynum has 6, and you can see Antoine Jameson has been the big scorer as McGuire driving in. And he's fouled and will go to the line with under 5 minutes to go in the first.
I don't know what the Lakers' soft defense is here, but Gasol's going to have to do a better job of contesting Jameson. And right here, this is what Phil Jackson and the Lakers, they're going to be able to get these looks all night. Bynum coming off a career-high 42 points, 15 rebounds.
Well, the difference down low is at the one end with Powell posting up. Jameson has fronted Powell, daring them to throw the lob over the top. But on the other block with Bynum, okay, when Blotch plays behind him, it makes it too easy for him to catch and use his size advantage.
McGuire hitting both free throws after the foul by Luke Walton, and the Wizards, with under 5 minutes to go in the first, hanging in there with the Lakers trailing by 3. Last night, the Clippers made it a close first half, down by 3, before the Lakers ended up winning 108-97. Here is Derek Fisher. And James won't let him shoot the 3. And inside that line gets a 2-point field goal and a 5-point Laker lead.
Brett, you had mentioned today in our meeting about monitoring minutes for Fisher. I think Phil Jackson addressed that with you in our meeting with Phil tonight.
Well, I was talking about Fisher. He's averaging 37 minutes since the injury for Jordan Farmar. And that's a little bit too much minutes for a 34-year-old as Jameson takes the hit and the foul.
And a chance for the 3-point play. And you're right, Jordan Farmar, who is expected to return before that 6-game road trip coming up.
We see right here Mike James again finding Jameson with an assortment of shots. He's one of the best at making tough shots, off balance shots that you wouldn't think an NBA player would take. He takes them and makes them.
Coach, he kind of reminds me, and you'll know this player, Alex English, one of the great all-time shooters for the Denver Nuggets, shoots at weird and awkward angles.
Yes, exactly. And makes them.
And makes them. Hall of Famer.
Here is Bynum. Good ball movement. Walton from Kobe and Bynum. And a 6-point lead, 22-18, or 4-point advantage for the Lakers under 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. Blotch has his pass inside knocked away.
This is absolutely no defense at all on the part of the Wizards. They open it up, make it way too easy. A couple passes winds up as an easy finish for Bynum.
Lamar Odom will come into the game, replacing Pau Gasol, who goes out. He scored 2 points and has 1 personal foul. And Odom had 19 points, 9 rebounds in the victory over the Clippers in his 10th year from the University of Rhode Island. And here is McGuire in and out for the 3-point attempt. The outlet to Kobe. Working against Caron Butler. Blocked inside, and it was McGuire who got a hand on it, and last touch by the Wizards.
Well, you look at Kobe Bryant, and we're talking about when you have a dislocated ring finger. Personally, the hardest thing is when you're taking the ball off the dribble, always pounding on that finger. But nice move. Nice little block there by McGuire late.
Here's Odom, and now Kobe. Kobe for a three, and the rebound by Jamison.
Reg, I would think the most difficult part of it is that the dislocation is on the shooting hand, and that's the one that guys are always slapping down on as guys try to elevate and go up with the ball. They try to strip them before they can get it up there.
Blatch on the fall away. And here's Walton in the forecourt. Lakers have led all the way in this one. Kobe Bryant lost the ball momentarily, and they're going to rule a kick ball. So the Lakers will still have possession with 14 seconds placed on the clock.
Going back to the Fisher and minutes, you mentioned he was averaging 37 minutes since the injury to Farmar, but last night Phil Jackson actually kept him out on purpose, kept his minutes at 31, knowing that he had the game again tonight, and just hoped they could hold on to that lead.
Bynum's perimeter shot pulled down by McGuire. Under 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. The Lakers leading by 4. Jamison, who has hit his last 5 shots with 13 to lead the Wizards, and a three-point attempt by James doesn't go. So right now the Wizards, who are near the bottom of the league in three-point field goal attempts, struggling at 3 for 7. And an errant pass by the Lakers, saved by Jamison. So here comes the Wizards again with another chance. Here's Butler. And Odom gets the rebound, and 38% shooting so far for Washington.
You just don't see anyone putting it on the floor aggressively, except the Lakers going to the basket. Odom hurt us. He took it right to the rim.
Coming off the bench, Lamar Odom with the field goal. And there you see the 38% shooting by the Wizards, 60% for the Lakers, who lead by 6. Blatch hitting the perimeter shot with 2 minutes to go in the first quarter, and a timeout called by the Lakers.
And what you like about Lamar Odom, a guy that's 6'10", 6'11", can control the ball down the lane for the easy lay-in.
Lakers lead the Wizards by 4. Jamison, 5 of 6 from the field, and in his 11th NBA season, Antoine Jamison has made a habit of scoring in a variety of unorthodox ways.
Well, one of my favorite players, Alex English, used to do this against so many opponents, and it's the degree of difficulty. He's shooting off the wrong foot, off the wrong lane, going the wrong direction, and tonight, Powell's been slow to get to him, and you look at the weird hook shots with the foul right there, and Coach, when power forwards try to guard him, they're not quick enough, and they're not used to those kind of unorthodox moves.
No, because he's one of those in-between kind of players. Is he a 3? Is he a 4? He has the ability to go behind the three-point line. We've seen that already. Also could take it all the way to the rim off the dribble. So a very versatile player in a tough matchup.
The rest of the team is 2 for 11, so Jamison leading the way for the Wizards, and Sasha Vujacic has come into the game, the backup shooting guard for the Lakers. JaVale McGee checking in for the Wizards. 1:45 to go in the quarter.
This is long against long. Pau Gasol, JaVale McGee, 2 guys that are listed as Odom knocks it down.
Second lay-in by Odom coming off the bench. Lakers again by 6.
Not a bad guy to have coming off the bench. Lamar Odom, small forward, power forward, very versatile, can bring the ball down the court, can start the offense, initiate it, because he's a pretty good passer.
Trevor Ariza also coming in for the Lakers, the runner by James, and McGee with the follow, and again a 4-point game.
Second shot opportunities for the Wizards, keeping them in this game early.
Bryant shooting over McGuire, hitting 2-point field goal. Kobe now with 6. Bynum on the bench has 8 points, but another big first quarter for Andrew Bynum, who had 6 rebounds to go along with his 8 points. Trevor Ariza, who has really upped his play as of late. And we'll have a Laker foul. And Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant's in disbelief with official Violet Palmer. He's wondering how could she call that? Her back was to the basket. This is the official underneath call right here, and there is a hole in the left hand.
.45 seconds remaining in the first quarter. It's a 6-point game, and Odom all over Blatch. Here is McGee driving in and getting his second field goal since coming off the bench.
Very impressed with that move by the young man. Took it at the high post area. They flashed high-low because they were fronting the low post. Took it one dribble to the rim.
Of course, his mom played at USC, an All-American basketball star, and coming back is Vujacic with the three-point field goal, and the Lakers, who took a 7-0 lead to start this game, are up by 7 here. Differential of a couple of seconds, a little more than 2, as James, defended by Vujacic. Blatch way off the mark in his three-point attempt, and is saved in the corner by Odom. Time running out, and here's a Ariza shot missing, and that'll do it as the Lakers take a 31-24 lead after 1 quarter here against the Washington Wizards. Bynum with 8, Bryant with 6, Jamison with 13 leading the Wizards. The NBA on TNT Thursday is presented by the United States Marine Corps. 7-point Laker lead, start of the second quarter. A few moments ago, Cheryl Miller caught up with Ed Tapscott, the Wizards coach.
Well, Coach, the first 14 possessions of the game, you guys took jumpers. Would you like to have more of a balanced attack?
Absolutely. We wanted to get some post-ups and some drives to the basket, but they're difficult to get inside against. So we're going to have to run our offense more efficiently so we can get something inside. We will not survive a whole night of shooting jump shots.
Obviously, the Lakers have a size advantage in the middle. How do you counter that the rest of the game?
Well, I told these guys there's an old saying, the strong take from the weak, the smart take from the strong. We got to be smarter than them if they're stronger than us. So better execution is going to be the key for us.
But, Coach, size does matter.
It does on occasion. Yes, it does.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach.
Thanks. And, Coach, I have to tell you, if he thinks that they're going to outsmart the Lakers, Ed Tapscott, with no Gilbert Arenas, no Brendan Haywood, no Deshaun Stevenson, I have some land down south that I want to sell to Coach Tapscott, because there's no way that is going to happen.
Why, are you saying those 4 names you mentioned had very high scores in their SAT tests?
I'm just saying, with a very young team, what the Wizards have, as Miguel goes up and dunks it.
How about this for an omen? The Wizards 1-15 when they trail after 1. The Lakers 15-1 when they lead after 1. Well, how would a philosopher conclude that one?
Well, I'm just saying, you got a very young team that is prone to mistakes. The Wizards.
Vujacic hitting a three-pointer, his second, and opening up a 34-26 game. And there you see on the floor for the Wizards as Nick Young, their top scorer in the second unit, and Javaris Crittenden has come into the game. 2 young players. Wow. And here is McGuire in the lane, and Crittenden doesn't fall for him. 8-point lead for the Lakers. Derek Fisher with Odom. Ariza, and Odom has had his way on the glass in this first half.
No one knew who was guarding Odom at that time. No one knew. Now, let's go back to that smart from the strong. He did not take good grades right there.
Here is Nick Young, who had a huge 33-point game against the Knicks in a losing effort. And Odom playing well at both ends of the floor since coming in, and Gasol feeding good ball movement. Odom guarded by Young. Plenty of time on the clock. Ariza hitting a 3. And the Lakers have opened up a 13-point lead early here in the second.
You saw 5 touches that time in the half-court area by the Lakers. Everybody got a little piece of the ball. They wound up making the jumper in the end. Watch the ball movement. Watch the passes for the Lakers when they come down in the half-court. In the end, it's Lamar Odom who finished off with the pass to Ariza, who finishes it off with a 3.
Fouls it back. Goes to Maharan. Got the step. Yes. Here's Bryant for three. Yes.
This is Kobe Bryant at his best right here.
And here comes Bryant going right at Smith. He scores and the foul. That's 49 for Bryant. 19 in his fourth quarter.
And that was April 23rd, 2008. Game 2 of the Western Conference first round. Marv Albert and Reggie Miller had the call from the Staples Center. So you've been here before, apparently. Turner Sports and the NBA, 25 years and counting. So the timeout and a 13-point lead, the biggest for the Lakers, 8 on the shot clock. Nick Young losing the ball momentarily. McGee, time running out. Jamison is into the game and misses at the buzzer. McGee tried to keep it alive to no avail, and the Lakers have outscored the Wizards 8-0 in the first minute and a half of this second quarter, and a Wizards foul as Gasol goes down.
Well, you look at the experience of the Lakers and look who's on the floor for the Wizards. You've got Nick Young, a second-year player. You got Javaris Critton, a second-year player. And you got JaVale McGee, a rookie, along with some of the veterans, and Darius Sangala, who's 29, and Jamison, who's been in a few All-Star games. So you see the experience of the Lakers and the youth and the inexperience of the Wizards.
And Ariza will lay it in. Of course, once again, Brendan Haywood, you missed that presence in the middle. It's going to really hurt you in a huge way defensively.
And that was just a matter of execution by the Lakers. They knew exactly where their next pass was supposed to go. It went there. It winds up in a very high percentage shot.
So the lead is 15, and here is Crittenden. Leaves it off to Darius Sangala, who has come in, and the follow by McGee, or Crittenden gets credit for it. So it's 41-28. 3.5 gone by in the second. Vujacic with a lay-in and the foul. Sasha Vujacic now with 8 points and a chance for the three-point play.
Sasha known as a jump shooter, but he comes off the screen right here, and look at parting of the Red Sea right there. Just goes down the lane, and the Wizards late to help.
You know, as an opposing coach, there's nothing worse than going into a game where you know that you're outmanned because of injuries, you have, you know, shorter bench, the whole bit. And then you play a very, very, very good team, actually the best team in the league right now record-wise, and then they play well. There's no worse feeling than that. Because you're hoping that they have a bad night shooting. But when they're playing well on top of it, you're like, oh, man, now what do we do?
Nowhere to turn. Meanwhile, the Laker bench has accounted for 20 of their 44 points. Nick Young hounded by Vujacic. James into the game for Crittenden. Sangala hits the shot from the corner. Lakers with a huge lead and trying to make it 22 out of 25 at home. Vujacic misses a 3 from the corner.
Wizards need Mike James to heat it up a little bit. He can get it going. He could put 2 or 3 those three-pointers together, get him right back in this game.
And knocked away by Ariza. Here is James, 2 on the shot clock. Nick Young, and the three-point doesn't go, and here is Odom again.
Court balance. When someone shoots a jump shot from the perimeter, his backcourt mate has to cover the backcourt on the run out. That's what happened. Defender on the jump shooter ran out. Nobody was back there to take it.
Look at his shooting percentage here in this quarter. 75 to 27%. And a great pass, Ariza, as he spotted Odom.
There's Young, and then there's Odom running out. He challenged Young's shot. Nobody covered the backcourt. The man at the top of the circle, the next man over, was the one who should have covered the backcourt.
Meanwhile, Caron Butler checks back into the game for the Wizards, and Nick Young going to the bench. 7 on the shot clock. Overplaying Butler. Here's Jamison. Time is running out again. And Sangala hitting the jumper. He has hit 2. And it is now 46 to 32, under 7 to go in the half.
Well, that's one thing Sangala can do. Nice pass there by Lamar Odom to Derek Fisher. But where's the communication on the defensive end? You know, I don't want to browbeat the Wizards, but where's the communication at the defensive end for this young team.
Doesn't seem like they actually are out there telling each other who they're guarding or who their man is when you've had two wide open layups like that with no defender near him.
And we'll have a foul away from the ball against the Lakers, and it will be Vujacic with his first.
Well, the Wizards are coming off a stretch where they had 8 consecutive games against sub-500 teams. This was a chance for the Wizards to get back into that Eastern Conference race. They go 2-6 against those sub-500 teams. I know there's a lot of teams that would love to have a situation like that.
Pau Gasol slams it over Jamison, and Pau now with his second field goal, and this is an early party for the Lakers, up by 18, and still more than half the time remaining in the second.
And Pau Gasol here, nice quick move on McGee baseline. Help is a little late. Jamison has to rotate over a little bit sooner than that.
Lakers scored the first 7 points of the game and have never looked back. Inside, and foul is Songaila. They'll count goaltending, and the basket will count. So Songaila coming off the bench to get 6 here in the second quarter.
Let's credit Caron Butler with throwing a very, very sharp pass. He got it through the defense. He had enough on it to get it past him quickly, and then obviously the lay-in.
Fisher down low to Gasol, and the foul. And Pau Gasol, who has really settled in big time in his first full season with the Lakers after coming over last February from the Memphis Grizzlies. Well, here's a look at the upcoming national TV schedule. Friday on ESPN, Dallas is at Detroit. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern. Sunday on ABC, Dallas is at Boston, followed by San Antonio at the Lakers. That coverage starts at 12:30 Eastern. And Tuesday on NBA TV Fan Night, Charlotte right here against the Lakers at the Staples Center. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern with NBA Game Time.
You know, Phil Jackson has a luxury here, Coach. Kobe Bryant just checking back in. You know, I looked at the numbers of his MVP last year versus this season. He's down in minutes, which I think is going to benefit Kobe come playoff time. 39 down to 36. Points are almost the same, 28 to 27. Rebounds about the same at 6 assists. But where I think Kobe's going to benefit, he's going to be much more fresher come April, May, as the playoffs begin, because he's playing less minutes.
And, of course, the Lakers in the second half of the season, 24, the final 41 on the road. And Caron Butler from the corner, 15-point lead for the Lakers. Nearly 5.5 to go in the second quarter. And Pau Gasol again foul. Lakers are getting the ball inside effectively.
Pau Gasol knows that there's no one out there right now that can stop him in the low post area. That's what they're doing. Coming down the floor, look directly into the post area, let Gasol go to work. He's a very efficient and effective scorer down low.
The NBA on TNT, brought to you by Sonic's new Everyday Value Menu. It's not just good, it's Sonic good. And by Verizon Wireless.
15-point Laker lead, 5:34 to go in the second. And now it's time for tonight's Sonic Strader. And here is the czar of the telestrator, Mike Fratello.
A constant diet of passing the ball into Pau Gasol, one of the best low post scorers in the NBA. We see Gasol with the ball in that area, and after the pass is made, the guy who feeds the post cuts through, comes all the way through, so that he can leave Pau an entire side of the floor to himself to operate. Well, the defense isn't going to let him do that. What they're going to do is they come back immediately and double team Gasol with 2 defenders. So the offense now must outnumber him. One man flashes high, next man flashes down low for the Lakers. Now it's a matter of passing the ball quickly before the defense can recover. It results in a high percentage shot to dunk by Ariza.
Pau Gasol on the free throw line. Went 10 for 12 with 12 rebounds in the big win against the Cavaliers on Monday night. Huge win for the Lakers as Gasol makes 2 free throws, and it's 53-36.
People back in Cleveland were very alarmed after that game, figuring out that the Lakers are so much better than the Cavaliers. That is not the case. You have 2 starters missing. A nice backdoor move that time by Jamison. Nice pass by Blotch. 2 starters missing. West missing. Zydrunas Ilgauskas missing. Ilgauskas 7'3" to go up against the big people of the Lakers. So that's not a good indicator of how much difference there is between the 2 teams.
Ariza committing the foul, and here is Jamison on the free throw line. So the Lakers now with the best record in the NBA after the Celtics beat the Orlando Magic in the first game on TNT tonight. Cleveland at 32-8. So there they are, the 4 Mount Rushmore teams in the league.
Well, you think Boston was trying to reestablish themselves as the best team after they rattled off those 19 straight wins. They kind of a little bump in the road, losing here on Christmas Day to the Lakers, and went 6 and 7 in their next 13 games. Now I believe they're up to 6 or 7 games in a row, winning on the road in Orlando and in Miami over the last 3 nights.
Jamison hitting the free throws now has 15 points, and Andrew Bynum returns to the lineup, replacing Odom. Odom with 8 rebounds, 8 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists. Terrific job off the bench. So here's Bynum, who had 8 in the first quarter, and Ariza hitting a 2-point field goal. He has 7 now.
I spoke with Trevor before the game, and we had a conversation last year when he was rehabbing his ankle and he was on the sideline, and I told him to stay patient, but this summer you're going to have to work on your outside shot. You work on your outside shot, you're going to become a threat where they are going to be able to have to guard you because you're so good offensively slashing. If you can knock down an outside shot consistently, you're going to play heavy minutes in this position for Phil Jackson and the Lakers.
Was that an alumni meeting before the game?
Definitely. Well, yes, it was.
Bruin alumni meeting?
Chapter number 31.
Foul was on Bynum. Ariza having a career season. Blatch into the game, and James hitting at the buzzer, a 2-point basket. Lakers up by 15 with under 4.5 to go in the first half. Dick Stockton along with Reggie Miller, Mike Fratello, and Cheryl Miller, and Bynum makes it look easy at the other end.
Whoever Blatch guards scores the basketball down low in the low post. He has no idea right now what he's trying to do.
He's gambling. Stop gambling, thinking you're going to steal the inbound pass. Why don't you play some early position as Bynum's coming down?
Caron Butler defended by Kobe Bryant with under 4 minutes to go now, giving up his dribble, and we will have a kick ball. So again, 14 seconds on the clock, Wizards ball.
Well, look at the entry here by Fisher, and there's Blatch out of position right there as Bynum just drop steps for the lay-in.
Blatch shooting it over Bynum and hitting, so Andre Blatch with his second field goal. Now 2 for 6. Kobe Bryant, who has 6 points. He had a quiet triple-double, if there's such a thing, last night. Here is Gasol, reverse layup against Antoine Jamison, and the Lakers are having their way with the Wizards almost every time down the court inside.
Dick, why would you say that? They're only shooting 72% from the floor.
14 layups on top of all that as Kobe and there's the outside shooting of Trevor Ariza. I guess he has worked on his outside shooting, his second free of the game, and the Lakers up now by 20.
It's amazing when that alumni group gets together. Good things happen.
A lot of good shooters at UCLA.
But you got to have some talent, right, to work with,
he has
right?
talent.
No, I know. I mean, all you UCLA guys.
Of course.
You came with talent.
Of course. And look at Ariza in the corner here, spotting up for the 3. And you want to see team unity right here? Look at the Lakers enjoying this 20-point lead.
All right, they're a running team. As a point guard, you can't get caught down on the baseline all the time because you're the first line of defense coming back, all right? Now, you got a great tap, but you're caught down there like 3 times in a row. They're out and running. So once you go through, you got to get out of there.
One of the points that Ed Tapscott made to us before the game is that he has to remain positive with this young team. They've got to have the results. We see a nice backdoor cut that time. Pass by Butler, finished by Jamison. They've got to have an idea at the end of this year who they want back next year to go back into the battles. Which guys are the ones they want to keep? Because who knows if they're going to have their 2 best players back this year or not. We don't know that. If Gilbert Arenas is going to be back, and we don't know if their best defensive guy is going to be back, Hayward, this year. So they've got to find out who can play.
Bynum, nobody underneath as Bynum now with 12 points, and the Lakers are shooting 71% from the field. And there you see a 31-point first quarter by the Lakers, and they've topped it so far with 33. And we have a little more than 2 minutes remaining in the first half. It's been all Lakers, and a turnover as Jamison lost it, taken back, and the foul on the Lakers. And right now, let's send it to our Atlanta studios, and here is Ernie Johnson. Ernie.
Hey, Dick, it's a Southwest game break, and Gary Payton will be here, Chris Webber will be here, Kenny the Jet Smith for the T-Mobile halftime report. We'll have Celtics Magic highlights, and you see the schedule for All-Star Weekend in Phoenix beginning on Friday the 13th. Culminating with the All-Star Game, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, right here, exclusively on TNT. Back to you.
All right, Ernie, and of course the starters for the All-Star Game were announced earlier today. We had it on our pregame show on TNT, and there are a lot of players having good years on teams that are not having much success, and here are a few of them right here.
Well, no disrespect to a lot of those guys' names, but I've never been a big fan of rewarding guys that their team is in second to last, third to last in a conference. Even if that takes guys such as Mo Williams or Jameer Nelson making the squad. You can talk about Andrew Bynum possibly making it for the Lakers. They do have the best record in all of the league. Why can't they have 3 representatives?
How about Jamison, who's in this game? Should he be in consideration?
No, he should not be in consideration. This team has won 9 ball games.
He should be on the list that we just saw, but maybe not so much to get in. And that's, an opinion that is one that could be argued. Is McGuire to James, a 3-pointer over the top, and the Lakers get it back. Not quite over the top. 22-point lead under a minute and a half remaining in the pair. And here is Odom fouled.
Reg, going back to that All-Star list we just saw, is there anyone of the starters that you may have thought maybe somebody else should have gotten that spot?
Well, in the West, you have Duncan, Amari, Yao, Kobe, and Chris Paul. I would have liked to seen Dirk make it. I think Dirk is having an MVP year. If you look at his numbers, it's very close to that 2005 when he did win the MVP. And I like the big fella Shaq. I know he's not playing back-to-backs, but Shaq is putting up some pretty big numbers. I know Yao gets voted in.
And Dirk would make it over who?
And I think Dirk would make it over Amari.
Well, let me give you my Eastern guys that I would have considered. I think Vince Carter could have been considered over AI, in that spot, because Vince has done a heck of a job in keeping the Nets right around the 500 mark. Another guy who's come on gangbusters since his injury, Michael Redd, has been terrific for Milwaukee in their surge late. And then, Joe Johnson in Atlanta has got that team on the winning side with a lot of injuries in Atlanta.
To replace who then, Coach?
Well, AI would be the one I would question right there.
And the reserves will be named next Thursday. The Lakers 10-2 run the last 2.5 plus. They have dominated here as Jamison with a floater. And Jamison now with 19 points with a minute to go.
Plus, AI still has that Western Conference residue on him. You can't give him all that credit coming back to the East.
Bryant hitting a 3. Kobe with his 9th point of the game. And a 70-point first half for the Lakers into the last minute. And Caron Butler will lose it. And the Lakers will get it back.
Well, Phil Jackson, 70 points, season high for the Lakers. But Kobe Bryant getting it done at both ends of the floor. Knocks down a long 3, and then at the defensive end, guarding the best Wizard player, Caron Butler, coming up with the turnover.
Ariza missing the 3, and Odom commits the foul on Blatch.
Well, I want to know what's in the water in Memphis, especially with you two guys down there. You guys do the MLK game down there. And all the controversy starts afterwards. Should they start AI or Rip Hamilton after they did the game with you guys? And then Mark Arvaroni gets traded. I'm blaming you two.
Pointing the finger at
I'm blaming you two. What's going on in Memphis? You guys go down there, people get fired. There was controversy all throughout the league. Should we start Rip Hamilton? Should we start Allen Iverson?
I agree with you. Dick started it all.
I didn't coach that franchise, Michael.
But you basically
call him out.
You ran the show that night.
Way to call him out, Dick. That's right.
You know what I love about this? No finger pointing, which is really what I like about our group here at the table. Everyone takes responsibility. All right. 20 seconds remaining in the first half. And the Lakers can virtually do what they want here. Here is Odom. Three-point attempt missing. And here is James, and gets it stolen away by Ariza. Time running out, and Bynum will put it through. And how's that for a capsule of Laker aggressiveness? And the Wizards' sloppiness. Bynum with 16 points and 9 rebounds. Kobe Bryant has 9 points. And there they are, the scoring leaders, as the Lakers, shooting 69% from the field, have a mammoth lead of 72-47 at the half. And Cheryl is over there with Andrew Bynum. Take it away.
Thanks a lot, Dick. Well, looking at last night, you had 19 points in the first quarter, 16 points tonight. What have you been trying to focus on? Because it's obviously working.
Just trying to get that low position, get the ball, and it's going to work quick. I was taking a little bit too much time and waiting for the double team before. So me and Kareem just started working on moves before practice, quick moves to go over the top of the D.
Last night against the Clippers, you guys jumped out to a big lead. They were able to get back into the game. How do you avoid that tonight against the Wizards?
Come out and just play hard, man. Don't let up. Get some time for the bench guys out there so they can come in and finish the game off.
42 last night. How much tonight?
I don't know, man. I just hope we keep getting uphill.
All right, thanks a lot, Andrew. All right, coming up after the break, we'll be sending it down to our Atlanta studios for the T-Mobile halftime report. We've got a full house with Ernie Kinney, C. Webb, and the glove, Gary Payton.
To 47. And guys, 16 layups will get you to that total pretty easily.
Well, I think everything has gone right for the Lakers tonight, and it's been all about ball movement. 21 assists on 27 field goals. But what I like about it is everyone is getting involved. Kobe taking the ball off the dribble, getting into the lane. Lamar Odom down the lane, and Coach Pau Gasol, one of your former teammates, just getting it done down in the post.
Well, it doesn't matter whether it's been in transition or in the half court or just a matter of forcing a turnover. They have capitalized on the very many easy opportunities that the Wizards have afforded them.
And the halftime statistics, and go right down the board. You see how impressive it has been, from three-point field goals to bench points, points in the paint, rebounds, you name it. The Lakers have done it over the Wizards. LA took a 7-0 lead, never looked back. Andrew Bynum with 16 points and 9 rebounds, coming off his career game of 42 last night in this very building against the Clippers, is the leading scorer for the Lakers, and Antoine Jamison, a lone wolf for the Wizards, with 19.
The other thing I see is that Phil Jackson, coach of the Lakers, getting ready for the playoffs already, shortening his rotation to just 8 people here in the first half.
Here is James with a runner, and the basket counts, and the foul. And right now, let's check in with Cheryl Miller.
Well, thanks a lot, Dick. Well, Coach Tapscott said, you know what? The Lakers are very good. We're very young. We got overwhelmed and couldn't bounce back. Now I got it right. When they made that run at us, he said the second half they're going to go with the older crowd. He said the young guys kind of, got a little bit over their head. He said even though despite if they lose this game, they want to try to see if they can execute in the half court and walk away knowing that they can contest in the paint. So far, guys, that hasn't happened.
Not at all. Down low to Bynum. And Bynum gets another field goal. So 18 now for Bynum on 7 for 8 from the field.
What I like is the Lakers are concentrating and getting the ball down low to him. He's getting low position and they're rewarding him.
And losing the ball is Blatch. Here's Derek Fisher. Fires over McGuire. out of bounds and last touched by the Wizards. So Kobe Bryant, and you're wondering about that bandage over the right eye, had 4 stitches after getting hit in Miami game in the second week of January, and I guess they had a problem. They botched the job and they had to do it again. So that's why he still has the bandage. Fight for the loose ball, and Walton, among others, and it comes out into the hands of McGuire.
Blatch was under there hoping that someone else in the blue jersey would come join him in the effort to come up with the ball.
Jamison shooting over Gasol. And here's Kobe.
Well, I know Bynum's second and third effort had to make Phil Jackson happy. Speaking with him before the game, he wanted Bynum to be more offensive challenge, especially going after rebounds on the offensive end. Not just defensive rebounds. He wants them active on the offensive rebounds glass as well.
McGuire from the perimeter. 2 minutes gone by here in the third quarter. Lakers up 74-49. Dick Stockton along with Reggie Miller, the czar Mike Fratello, and Cheryl Miller. Lakers have 2 long road trips coming up in the second half. A 6-game trip beginning soon, and then in late March a 7-game road trip east. Here's James off for 3.
Wizards back to their outside shooting. Got to try to find a way to either drive or get the ball down low to Blatch or Jamison. You just can't settle for long-range shots against this Laker defense.
James, who was acquired from the Hornets in early December in a 3-team deal with Memphis, and driving in, and Walton grabs the arm of Caron Butler and commits his foul. That'll be his 3rd.
You know, one of the other things that you take from these experiences, a young team has to learn that when you go on the road, you have to play back-to-back games sometimes. And although you win the first night, you have to be ready and prepared then to come back the second night and compete. It's a difficult thing with young teams. They had a big win last night on the road. They tend to take off the next night. Sometimes mentally, they don't get themselves prepared.
McGuire hits the jumper, and of course last night, Mike, the Wizards gave up 37 points in the fourth quarter to Sacramento, and they gave up 31 and then 41 in the first 2 quarters tonight as you look at last night's story. Big game for Jamison with 33, a season's high, and Butler 32 and 7 in 44 minutes. Butler with it now.
Yeah, the Lakers, by the way, they played on the road. They played an away game last night.
They wore purple jerseys.
Here in this building,
yes. Walton with the 3-point miss. Pau Gasol with a follow.
And obviously what we mean by that is the Lakers played the Clippers last night, and the Clippers were the home team, so the Lakers wore the road jerseys last night. But
so the Lakers basically have 43 home games. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. And I'll tell you what, Reds, they have 2 more games coming up right after this one. They have, San Antonio will be a tough game for them. Then they have 1 more after that against Charlotte at home. But then of their next 30 games over February and March, they play only 9 home games and 21 road games.
That was the story last night, as you saw, with the victory, 11 points over the Clippers. James on the tip-in scoring for the Wizards. And a no-look pass from Fisher to Pau Gasol. Pretty play by Derek Fisher. So it's a 25-point lead. And that was the lead at halftime for the Lakers. And here is Blatch with the turnaround, tipped up and in by Butler. Butler now 7 points in the game. The only player in double figures is Jamison. He has 19. Kobe spinning his way in, feeding Bynum, and Bynum is fouled. He had both Jamison and Blatch defending inside. Bynum already with 18 points, and he'll shoot a pair. The foul is against Jamison, his 3rd. Well, don't miss the series premiere of Trust Me, Monday at 10, 9 Central, right after an all-new closer, only on TNT.
Coach, when you're looking at big men, they got a great behind the Laker bench in Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, one of my all-time heroes. Andrew Bynum, he has good footwork. He has good feet. There's the cap. One of the all-time great humanitarians, UCLA Bruin, Lakers. But you look at Andrew Bynum, he has good footwork, he has good hands, he has good size. What are some of the developments for a young player that you would look for in an Andrew Bynum as the season goes on for the Lakers to get better and eventually maybe win a championship?
Well, one, when he comes in as young as he did, you're looking for him to mature and gain strength, number one, so he can hold his spot down there against the bigger, stronger players. You see the wave of gold jerseys coming and attacking the transition defense of the Wizards. Another layup for the Lakers. Then you watch for skill development. You watch his ability to pass the basketball, his understanding of the game, his footwork and technique, both offensively and defensively. And we see 4 gold jerseys attacking the 1 blue.
And of course, Andrew Bynum also credits Kurt Rambis as well as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar helping him because there's been some criticism of his rebounding ability. And there is Kurt Rambis, who was a power forward, wore the glasses, nicknamed Superman for some of the Laker championships and NBA Finals that they played against the Celtics in the 80s. Here's Blatch.
Well, they called him Clark Kent. He wasn't Superman. He was Clark Kent. Before he
the team were Superman.
Before he turned into Superman,
they were Superman. Okay. Out of bounds, and going over to the Wizards. You know, one of the great coaches of big men was Pete Newell, who passed away not long ago and had a big man school that helped a lot of players who played the center position. 10 on the shot clock, nearly halfway through the 3rd quarter. McGuire with 6. Walton defending him, and McGuire with the shot, and they're going to have a loose ball foul.
You see Kobe grabbing his throat down there. He may have got hit in the throat with an elbow as they were going up for the ball, but jaw, throat,
Yep.
he feel it.
So Kobe has had problems with his finger, with his right eye, and now his throat. And going over to the bench. We'll be back.
The NBA on TNT, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. And by the Hyundai Assurance, an automaker that's got your back. Isn't that a nice change?
And welcome back to the Staples Center, where the Lakers trouncing the Washington Wizards 83-55, just under 6 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. And we have some celebrities enjoying a Laker lead. Chris Knopf in the audience. Andy Garcia. And the pianist, Adrian Brody.
Oscar winner.
Yep, sitting where Jack Nicholson normally sits. Taye Diggs. Stella enjoying the game, and they're all enjoying concessions. How about Terrell Owens?
Slow down, T.O.
Cheese nachos and Nicky Hilton waiting till later. And some of the celebrities in the crowd here at the Staples Center. Caron Butler with a drive on the baseline. 9 for Butler. Kobe Bryant still in the game, was hit in the throat. Apparently all right, and Pau Gasol puts it up. So Gasol now with 18. So Bynum with 20, Gasol 18. The big men have 38 between them.
You don't really realize how many points Gasol scores in games because he does it easily a lot of times. It comes easy to him to put the ball in the basket.
Darius Sangala, and very quietly with 8 points, hitting the outside shot. 85-59 now. Here is Walton, missed 9 games. And the three-point attempt by Kobe, bothered by the bruised foot, and started last night. Vladimir Radmanovic started the first 20 games for the Lakers and has started only 8 games since, and we haven't seen him tonight, Reggie.
Well, he was he came to shoot around with only 5 minutes left against the Clippers. And I think that's why Phil Jackson decided to go with Luke Walton against the Clippers and hasn't even gotten off the bench tonight. And is this some form of punishment, Coach, maybe?
I think Phil is trying to send a message that, don't tell me about the alarm clock not working. You have a responsibility as a professional athlete to be there on time at practice for the shoot-around. So he did not play but 5 minutes in last night's win over the Clippers. And then, tonight, again, he's sitting on the bench. And I think Phil realizes that this team gets off to some quick starts when he's out there because, as you know, Reg, he can get behind that line, and he's got it going. When he's shooting it, he fills it up quickly.
Coming into the game, 6th in the NBA in three-point shooting percentage, and Kobe Bryant is fouled by James.
Yeah, but look at the luxury that Phil Jackson has. Okay, you're going to be late to shoot around? Don't worry about it. Sit over here next to me. I'll go with Luke Walton. And, oh, by the way, I got Trevor Ariza. So I got a lot of players. If you want to act up, okay, just sit over here with me. Don't worry about it.
Bryant with a nifty play. His best of the night. Kobe with 11 points. As we approach 4 minutes to go in the third.
Kobe with a Jameson-type shot, right? Splitting it off the... Yes, exactly.
James fended by Fisher. And traveling is called against Caron Butler.
In the win versus the Clippers last night, you'll see what we talked about, a Jameson-type shot. Split it, get it up, fade left, shoot it back right off the glass, and a very athletic move there for Kobe Bryant. But I started to say last night, at the end of that huge scoring night for Bynum, he referred to him as Kobe Nash because of all the assists that Kobe had last night.
Kobe Bryant, 18 points. 12 rebounds, 10 assists. And certainly not the main focus of this team because of his finger. There's a steal by Derek Fisher. Walton feeding Pau Gasol, lost control. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Fisher passes to Odom, who hits the three from the corner. Odom with 12 off the bench.
It's all about sharing the basketball if you're the Los Angeles Lakers. Everyone gets a chance to touch the basketball, spread the wealth. This is the mark of a good team. Fisher had a wide open jump shot. What does he do? Odom in the corner for the three ball in the corner.
Now it's time for tonight's Marines Teamwork Play of the Game.
We'll talk about how the fast break starts. You see the basketball starting right here. After that, now the formation of the break. Who's going to run the right lane? Who's going to eventually wind up pushing out into the left lane? Who's going to take the center lane sprint? Who's going to start in and eventually veer out to the sideline? The Lakers show you teamwork. Pass number 1. The dribble penetration. Pass number 2. Once Pau finds the handle, you'll see pass 3 back out. Now the reversing of the basketball across the court, pass number 4. And here's the last pass, number 5, coming in the corner to Lamar Odom, who catches wide open for the 3. The ball moves quicker than the defense does.
And 8 assists for Derek Fisher. And Lamar Odom coming off the bench in his 10th year. Sasha Vujacic has checked into the game for the Lakers, and Trevor Ariza and Bynum, Odom, and Kobe remain in there for the Lakers. And JaVale McGee with Nick Young. James is still in there with Caron Butler and Sangaila. And the pass off the rim intended for McGee. Kobe drives around Butler, and good ball movement there. Bynum fighting his way in and is fouled. Good persistence by Andrew Bynum, having an outstanding back-to-back games here.
Kobe has 5 assists up to this point, and he should have 3 more if the Lakers would finish some of the passes that he's thrown to them right around the rim.
Well, shop NBAstore.com now for the best selection of Lakers and Wizards gear, plus get free standard shipping on 2009 NBA All-Star Game jerseys, hats, T-shirts, and more. NBAstore.com, one store, every team. First free throw by Bynum is successful, and he'll have to settle for 21 points at this juncture. Under 2.5 to go in the third.
Coach, you talked about Derek Fisher and Phil Jackson purposely only 31 minutes last night in the win against the Clippers. Tonight, as he's out 28 minutes sitting. Doubt if he'll be back. Good rest for someone who's logged a lot of minutes as Sasha with the lay-in. Farmer, speaking with Phil Jackson, expected to be back as early as next week. He was supposed to be out 8 to 10 weeks with that knee surgery, but has progressed pretty well. So this is some nice rest for the 34-year-old Derek Fisher.
Yeah, and they have some time here as far as, you know, spreading out the games. They got 2 days off before they play San Antonio at home, then a day before the Charlotte comes in, then 2 more days off before they go on the road to play at Minnesota.
And for more on Derek Fisher, who will play less time, obviously, here's Cheryl.
And Derek, before the game, guys, told me that the heavy minutes that he's played really hasn't had an impact on him so far. He said the only changes he's had to make is his day-to-day preparations, and that means scaling back on his workouts and individual one-on-ones. He says he's trying to keep himself fresh right now. He said right now, as it stands, he's trying to preserve himself as much as not trying to prepare himself, guys.
All right, Cheryl, thank you very much. So that free throw stopped a 10-0 run, and Vladimir Radmanovic into the game for the first time. And here is Ariza, and Vujacic going right back to Bynum, knocked away by Butler. 1.5 remaining in the third quarter. Here's Nick Young hitting the jumper. So Young, who played his college ball at USC in this town and had 27 points as a rookie last year against these Lakers right here.
Well, over his last 7 ball games, averaging about 20 points, shooting 61% from the field.
Was he invited to that alumni meeting before the game with you?
No.
You may want to ask Cheryl that.
Oh, okay.
That's USC.
Oh, maybe Cheryl had her meeting. Okay, well, meeting the Trojans. Yeah.
Here's Vujacic on the line here. And that's a pretty good rivalry, I understand.
Yeah, we played them a couple times before. I think we've come up on the winning end. We're a basketball school.
And Cheryl,
they're a football factory.
Does Cheryl have a response here?
First of all, I am so tired, Reginald, of you copping out with the excuse that UCLA is not a football school. But I'm telling you right now, the Trojans are making a comeback. 2 big wins last week against the Arizona schools. We're trying to turn things around.
James with the lay-in, and under a minute remaining in a 97-65 Laker runaway. And Radmanovic will inbound. He's got Bynum, Odom, Vujacic, and Ariza. 6 Lakers are in double figures tonight. Here's Radmanovic. Wizards have 1 in double figures, and that's been Jamison. He got there in a hurry. He had 12 early points in the first quarter, make it 13 and 19 in the game. 32-point lead. Butler with a 3. Caron Butler with his second 3-point basket has 12. Half a minute remaining in the third quarter. And McGee was overplaying Bynum and traveling call.
But those are some of the things right there. You had asked, like, what do you work on with Bynum? What do you hope to accomplish with him? Stuff like that. Being able to be fronted, call for a lob pass, catch it, have your footwork down. And that's what Kareem works with him. And, you know, obviously we heard Rambis working with the same thing to try and smooth out those parts of his game.
And if he's healthy, having Bynum in postseason should do wonders for the Lakers. They didn't have it last year.
Well, I think that was one of the things, offensive rebounding as well as defensive rebounding against the Celtics in the finals that really hurt the Lakers.
Caron Butler, and time has run out here in the third quarter. So it's been a Laker night, to say the least. And after 3, the Lakers lead the Wizards 97-68. The NBA on TNT Thursday is presented by the United States Marine Corps. And a 29-point Laker lead as we start the fourth over the Wizards. And let's send it over to Cheryl Miller.
Well, thanks a lot, Dick. And joining me is the Cowboys' Terrell Owens and T.O. taking in a Laker game. Listen, right to as far as basketball is concerned. Who do you like coming out of the East and who do you like coming out of the West?
West, I would have to go with the Lakers, being I'm here. But East is they're very, very strong. You got the Boston, the world champs, and you got the Cleveland Cavaliers that are playing very, very well with the leadership of LeBron.
Now, I know you weren't happy with the way that your season ended. A lot of speculation on where you might be. So has your area code changed at all?
You know what? I'm going to be a Cowboy until I retire. As far as the coaching changes, right now, I'm sure Jerry Jones is evaluating a lot of things right now, and hopefully we can get some people in place, and we can get back at it and go for it, get a run at it.
And where would you say that your relationship is with Tony Romo?
Oh, that's my boy. We're good. Obviously, there are some things said during the course of the season, but that's my boy. We're going to try to get this thing back on track and bring a championship to Dallas.
You got the Steelers and the Cardinals in the Super Bowl. Any predictions?
You know what? Larry Fitzgerald, we talked before the Philly game a little bit via text messaging, and I'm going to go with the NFC. I want the Arizona Cardinals to win, and hopefully Kurt Warner can get that second Super Bowl trophy.
Thanks a lot to you.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right, Dick?
All right, Cheryl, and the Arizona Cardinals beat the Dallas Cowboys when they played out in Glendale during the regular season. Meanwhile, Bynum with 23 points. Odom scored for the Lakers. And a 101-70 lead. Tony Romo saying he wants to be more of a leader at quarterback. Don't say it, just be it. Isn't that the idea?
Well, you can talk and you can, you got to lead by actions. And those two players have to get on the same page. They got off to a fantastic start. And when Romo got hurt, I think that's where all their troubles kind of started a little bit, is when Romo went down with that thumb injury.
I don't think there's any question that was the beginning of what eventually was the end for that team, much earlier than they expected. And I just couldn't figure out what went wrong, what happened there with him gone. Was it the pressure building up? Was it too much for the rest of the team to handle, and the splintering off started to take effect?
Well, it's tough when your leader, especially your quarterback, goes down. And that's no disrespect to Brad Johnson. Brad Johnson, who's won a Super Bowl, I believe. I just didn't think he had the strong enough personality to manage the Dallas Cowboys. And you need a strong personality. And Tony Romo's a strong personality kind of guy. And that wasn't seen the second half of the season.
There's a lot of flamboyance in Dallas, and it starts with Jerry Jones, the owner of the team. Pac-Man Jones, of course, he signed him, and
who is now gone, by the way.
Gone, and they like a lot of flair, and sometimes stability is the best way to go, in an NFL season. Meanwhile, nearly 2 minutes gone by, traveling called against Radmanovich, and they're the 5 Lakers on the floor right now. Odom with 16 off the bench, and Javaris Crittenton, and Nick Young in the backcourt with McGuire. Petrov in the game for the first time with McGee. So Alexei Petrov seeing his first action for the Wizards.
And if the Lakers can maintain playing the way they are right now, as we see McGee's jump shot challenge, Kobe Bryant and Fisher probably done for the evening. Would you say, Ray?
I would say so. But like I said, these are minutes that you could put in the bank that's going to benefit Kobe and Derek Fisher down the road come March, April, and May when the playoffs start. These are guys that have logged a lot of minutes. They've won championship. They've gone deep in the playoffs, and those minutes add up. People don't think about it, but playoff minutes, it's wear and tear on your body.
In talking to Phil Jackson before the game, he singled out, San Antonio. Obviously, no big surprise. Is really a team that has impressed him.
Well, and he also talked about the Hornets, right, even though at times their play has been spotty, but he also said the Denver Nuggets are probably the 4th best team in the Western Conference. So this is not a give me for the Lakers, as McGee shows that length down low with the jam.
It's interesting. We talk now about, seedings and playoffs. We don't know what the health will be of some of these teams and the wear and tear when we get to mid-April and start all this.
And that's the luxury that the Lakers have. When you're this deep, as Radmanovich gets the foul and goes to the line, when you're as deep as the Lakers, you have a chance to rest guys. And this is a guy who, Radmanovich, just getting action here in the second half, who Phil Jackson says, I like to start him. He spreads the floor. He's good with our first unit. And sometimes he can be, as Phil Jackson said, a space cadet. He's sometimes in left field. And when you come to shoot around with only 5 minutes left because you say your alarm clock didn't go off, That's a little spacey,
Never
Coach.
heard that excuse before.
That's a little spacey.
Have you heard that excuse before about an alarm clock not going off?
Now, he could say, hey, traffic was bad. I would go with that here in L.A., but don't say your alarm clock didn't go off. Are you kidding me?
Well, sometimes traffic can be bad, I would say, in Los Angeles as we look at the Staples Center from above. Timeout early in the fourth. We can only talk about this when these teams are playing each other, but Wizards president Ernie Grunfeld on the left and Lakers general manager Mitch Kupchak were teammates on the 1976 U.S. gold medal Olympic team, and they helped the USA capture its 8th gold medal all-time in Olympic play. This one coming 4 years after the controversial loss of the Munich Games in 1972. There you see on the left, Dean Smith coached the team and led it to a 7-0 record. There were 4 North Carolina players on that team.
Wow, why does that surprise you?
Yeah, I was going to say, you think Dean had some pull there?
Bill Guthridge was the assistant to Dean Smith. Chris Mim has come in the game. Vujacic misses a 3.
Our own John Thompson, assistant coach on that team.
Exactly. Crittenden behind to Nick Young. Comes in with a slam and misses. Crittenden with a follow. And out of bounds. So teams emptying their benches. Josh Powell. There's Mitch Kupchak.
Mitch done an excellent job of putting this team together. I don't know, they must have sold the Indians to get Pau Gasol over here or something, because this really has made their team go.
Powell knocks it away. Josh Powell, Chris Mim, all in the game. Vujacic and Radmanovic. And there it is. Just like they work it out in practice.
Remember, Chris Mim was a starter. Okay, you got to go back a couple years now before he had the big injuries, but he was the starting center here for the Lakers. Now he's like third big man in line.
31 assists tonight by the Lakers, and they came into the game second in the league in that department. Crittenden missing, and Petrov keeps it alive. 7.5 to go in a 108-72 lead, and the Lakers already have scored more than their season's average, which was number 1 in the NBA at 107.6, and there's a 3 by Petrov.
That's what Petrov can do. He can spread the floor. He's a pick and pop kind of guy. Plays solid at the defensive end down low, but on the offensive end, he's going to stretch the floor for you.
Ariza leaves it for Powell. Ariza battles. Good hustle by him. So a chance for some of the players who never see the light of day to get into the action. Knocked away by JaVale McGee. And Crittenden with a reverse layup gets the basket. You know, Reggie, we were watching the studio at halftime talking about the All-Star situation, and you were kind of emphatic about those that make the All-Star team, you know, should come from winning programs and winning teams right now. And, you know, that is an issue, and I know you feel strongly about that.
Well, that's why I disagree with Gary's saying. He's saying that's why you should only have Lakers and Boston and Cleveland in the playoff games. No, that's not what I'm saying, but you can't reward guys who are putting up big numbers when they don't even have double-digit wins yet. And, you know, you're rewarding selfish play. If these guys are so good, Gary made Seattle and the players around him fantastic. Al Jefferson, Danny Granger, Chris Bosh, if they're so great, they've got to make their teams better. That's what I'm saying. You can't reward guys for putting up big numbers on bad teams.
Radmanovic hits the shot. Now, what about, you know, we talked about Antoine Jameson. It is not his fault, you know, on this team that has won 9 games that, you know, 2 stars are out and have not played this year.
That's why they're not being mentioned as All-Stars. That's what, last year, the reason why they made the All-Star team is when Gilbert Arenas was down, they kept this team afloat, and that's why they were rewarded for making the All-Star team. Now they've got 9 wins. They're not being mentioned. That's the same thing. Like I said, no disrespect to Kevin Durant, Danny Granger, who is playing out of his mind. 4th leading scorer in this game. But what has he done for his team? It's a team game.
Dick, I'm sorry, I have to agree with Reggie, Dick. Regardless of, you know, what you say to me later on, don't get upset, but I'm agreeing with Reggie. That's it.
Well, it's not what I say to you later on. It's the notes that I passed to you concerning, I don't understand why Reggie, Reggie, no one argues with you on this.
Former Laker Critton against his older team around the back for the lay-in.
The NBA on TNT, brought to you by Autotrader.com. Search the largest selection of cars, and you'll find the car you want at the price you want. Autotrader.com, the ultimate automotive marketplace. By T-Mobile G1 with Google. Everything you love about the web, now on a phone. By Sprite with Lyman. And by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun.
Welcome back. It's the Lakers leading the Wizards 110-79. Wizards forward Antoine Jamison has teamed up with a nonprofit organization, Kaboom, to build a brand new playground for youngsters in his home state of Louisiana. The playground will provide hundreds of local children with a safe place to play for years to come. The NBA, where caring happens. Nice.
All right, Cheryl, thank you very much. And the cheers. Soon Yue has come into the game for the Lakers. Soon has making his 9th appearance of the year. And he's in there with Powell, Radmanovic, Vujacic, and Chris Mim.
Soon has been likened to Magic Johnson. We'll see if he comes close to matching up with a great one.
From Hebei, China, the starting guard on China's Olympic team.
You just woke Magic Johnson up right now from a dead sleep by saying Magic Johnson and Sue in the same breath. Are you kidding me?
I thought he liked that.
Tongue in cheek, I'm sure. And here he is. Listen, crowd would have had their biggest cheer of the night had it gone in, and a loose ball foul called against the Wizards. Petrov committing the foul. Kobe Bryant on the bench, 28 minutes, a season low of 11 points. And the team that's winning 110-79. Here is Mim with the turnaround. And Petrov gets the rebound. McGuire, Young, Petrov with Crittenden and McGee. And the foul committed by Powell. Fourth year out of North Carolina State. And on the line is McGuire. See an all-new episode of The Closer Monday at 9, 8 Central, followed by the series premiere of Trust Me on TNT.
You know, Coach, earlier, we showed Ed Tapscott when he was talking to Javaris Clinton and telling him, you can't stay underneath, and you were talking about he's got to get back in balance. And I like the patience and the tone that Ed Tapscott had. We tell young players don't get discouraged and hang your head down, young players. And I like his demeanor that Tapscott brought. He wasn't yelling, he wasn't screaming, and you got to, especially in a team that's only won 9 games this year, as McGee with the block. You don't want coaches to get too frustrated as well and be demonstrative and yelling at their players. And I like how Tapscott approached his young team.
You were right on there, Reg, because he did it under control. There's a purpose. He has a purpose. He and Ernie Grunfeld obviously have had numerous conversations on what direction this team is going, and he cannot lose these players. He's got to keep them focused. So his demeanor, how he reacts to tough losses, how he reacts to big wins, all go a long way in developing these youngsters.
And Ed Tapscott has had every kind of role imaginable, as you know, been a head coach at American University, but basically, worked in scouting, worked in the front office. Red Holzman was a mentor for him many years ago.
Yes, and he seemed to remember Reggie very well, like putting 50 on the Knicks, I think he said. He was tired of seeing that.
Here is Mim with a turnaround. Powell battling Crittenden. And Crittenden with the no-look pass inside and stepping on the line and going the other way. Former Lakers we mentioned, as you mentioned, Reggie, is Crittenden, who was the 19th pick in the draft in 07. And in the 3-team trade with New Orleans, acquired by Memphis and then traded to Washington. Memphis with a host of young guards.
They had at that point, they had 3 point guards, nowhere to go. And Ed Tapscott said that the biggest thing we had to do in the beginning is we see McGuire take it coast to coast. He said we had to get him in shape to be able to play some minutes. He had so much rust on him from not playing in the 2 previous stops that we had to get him in shape to be able to play at least 10 minutes on the floor.
Well, right now, here's a look at the upcoming national TV schedule. Friday, Dallas at Detroit. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Sunday on ABC, Dallas at Boston, followed by San Antonio at Lakers. Coverage will begin at 12:30 Eastern. And Tuesday on NBA TV, Fan Night, Michael, Charlotte at the Lakers. Coverage begins at 7 o'clock Eastern with NBA Game Time.
What is up with Dallas? Will somebody help me with that one?
Well, right now, this is a team that's on the outside looking in. They're in the 9th spot in this tough Western Conference. Phoenix, who has struggled as of late, as Sue puts up another 3 to the crowd's delight.
Crittenden lays it in. The Crittenden getting out on the break has 8 points, 6 of them here in this 4th quarter. Powell.
Coach, you've got Portland, Utah, Phoenix, and Dallas all going to be fighting for that final playoff spot.
And McGee.
I like that. McGee wasn't going to wait for Nick Young to think about passing. He just reached down there, snatched it away from Nick Young, and took it to the basket.
14 points and 7 rebounds for JaVale McGee. Radmanovic with a 3. So Radmanovic, who along with the Spurs' Matt Bonner, are the best 3-point percentage big men in the NBA, giving the Lakers a 113-89 Bulls. 7 players now in double figures for the purple and gold. Winding to 2 minutes remaining in the game, and soon committing the foul.
This is part of the reason why Phil Jackson would like to get this guy back in the starting lineup, because when Radmanovic has his stroke going, he can start things out quickly for the Lakers.
Well, we're back here at the Staples Center. I don't know whether Reggie Miller knows this or not, but he very nearly became a Washington Bullet. Back in 1987, Bob Ferry, who was the general manager of the Bullets, really wanted to have you on the team. And they were drafting number 12. That was when David Robinson was number 1. And the team drafting number 11 were the Indiana Pacers. And I understand that Bob Ferry was a wreck after the Pacers drafted you, and he didn't have a chance to draft you, and instead Muggsy Bogues became his number 1 pick.
And funny story to that is when I went on my interview or visit to Indiana, Donnie Walsh and upper management really never gave me any interest or worked me out hard. It was almost like they were just bringing me in for a formality. So I had zero idea that I was going to Indiana. And on draft night, at the time it was on TBS, we did a live feed from our home, and Cheryl and I and our family was there, and Cheryl and I were the only ones who had a headpiece in our ear so we could hear what was going on, I guess, back in Atlanta. And we heard someone, a producer, saying, "Oh, Indiana's taking them?" And Cheryl looked at me and was like, "Well, act surprised, act surprised." And sure enough, Indiana, and 18 years later, that's where we are.
Yes. Powell with the basket, 115-91. The Lakers' biggest lead was 36 points tonight. And never trailed. And had a huge game, and Chris Min with a nice block. Young on the steal, Crittenden behind to McGee, and he's fouled.
Now Crittenden is at the rim, should be taking a shot. Bounce passes it about 9 feet behind him, so they don't get anything out of it.
Well, here's what's coming up on TNT next. It's Inside the NBA. Ernie, Kenny, Chris Webber, and Gary Payton are in the studio. And next Thursday, it's another NBA on TNT doubleheader. Cleveland at Orlando, followed by San Antonio at Phoenix. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern with the big announcement of the 2009 NBA All-Star reserves. Have we talked about the All-Star selections at all?
Coach, who do you like as your reserves?
There are a lot of people that are going to be left off the team that are going to be very, very upset. Think about the backcourt, trying to pick a backcourt for the West. Okay, who goes into the backcourt on the West? I mean, you have over there. You have Phillips over there now. Tony Parker's over there.
Yes.
Roy, Brandon Roy.
That's 3.
How about Nash? I mean, I don't want to mention that.
No.
I'm just giving you some names. Okay. Somebody's getting left out.
Nash will be one of them. That will be left out. I'm definitely going with Brandon Roy. I'm definitely going with Chauncey
How about
Billups.
Darren Williams from Utah?
No.
Golly.
You're tough. You're tough.
Powell makes it from the front court for the Lakers. I go with obviously
Jefferson make it?
Al Jefferson does not make my list.
Okay.
I'll tell you who made it tonight. Our producers, Scooter Bertino, director Renardo Lowe, Bert Bondi, and David Olszewski, our associate directors. Production assistants, Allison Lara and Donzel Floyd. Jeff Barrett, our graphics operator, and Marty Aronoff, our statistician. And they will make it. They'll
I'm thinking about David West possibly as a front court player in the West.
Well, the Lakers are going to win their 34th game in 42 starts as Chris Mim gets the basket, under a half a minute to go. And McGee with a season's high of 18 points. And the Wizards will go to 9-33. Worst start in franchise history for the Wizards. They had, of course, key people out through 42 games. Lakers with the best record in the NBA, winning tonight and having the Magic lose to the Celtics. Soon misses. And the final seconds of the game. 7 Lakers in double figures. No basket. Paced by Andrew Bynum's 23 and 14 rebounds. Pau Gasol had 18. And Antoine Jamison had 19 for Washington. A blowout from the word go tonight here at the Staples Center.
Well, the Lakers gave them everything that they had. Everyone played, and everyone played well. It was all about points in the paint. Andrew Bynum leading them that way with 23 and 14.
And right now, let's send it over to Cheryl Miller with Pau Gasol.
Well, Pau, 2 back-to-back blowout wins. Coming Sunday. On Sunday, you've got San Antonio. Tuesday, New Orleans. How do you use these games to prepare you for those 2 tougher opponents?
Well, obviously, the San Antonio game, it'll be really tough. It's a matchup that we're looking forward to. Obviously, it will be a totally different story than probably this last couple of games. But we're going to come out hard. You know, they're right there behind us, very, very close to us, and we want to make a statement, too.
We talked about 2 blowout wins, but, 2 back-to-back solid games for Andrew Bynum. Last night, 42. He got off to a great start tonight. Talk about his confidence level and what he's adding to this team.
Well, they let him go to work, and that's something that he's taking advantage of. He's being aggressive. He's putting up big numbers the last couple of nights, and we want him to be aggressive. So I think it's great for his confidence, great for our team.
All right, thanks a lot, Pau.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Spurs beat the Lakers by 112-111 in a thriller last time they played.
Just about a week ago, yep.
Well, our final score tonight, the Lakers 117 and the Wizards 97. For Mike Fratello, Reggie Miller, Cheryl Miller, and the rest of our crew, I'm Dick Stockton saying goodnight from Los Angeles. Coming up, it's Inside the NBA. You've been watching the NBA on TNT, the exclusive home of the 2009 NBA All-Star Game. And after a quick break, we'll send it to Ernie Johnson in Atlanta. So long, everybody.